What is going on, everybody, and welcome to today's tickers. You know the drill. We're going to cover the 4 trending tickers of the day, the biggest market movers in just 5 minutes or less. Let's get right into it. Today we're talking Nvidia, Boeing, CVS, and Caterpillar.
I'm looking forward to Nvidia. It's looking like it was up on the day yesterday as well.
Yeah, Nvidia, they're up 3% this morning. It was up big yesterday afternoon. Went up 5% yesterday afternoon after saying that their Arizona facility is fully operational now. They're making, they call them Blackstone or Blackwell chips at the Arizona facility. It's their highest processing power GPUs are coming out of that Arizona facility, and it is now fully up and running. Obviously, that takes a lot of stress and uncertainty off of the table for Nvidia, as the China trade deal was weighing on them, how much that was going to cut into their profits, tariff situation, all of that good stuff. Having some fully fledged production running on U.S. soil is a big move for them. They are up again 3% in pre-market this morning, headed into the market today, pretty much just on a continuation of that move. They are closing in on the $5 trillion market cap mark, something that has never been hit before in stock market history, and that would just be so insane. We talked yesterday on air about how it feels like we remember very recently when Apple was the first $1 trillion company.
Yeah, it felt like it was yesterday. Yeah, that was just a few years ago.
And now we're talking about the first $5 trillion company, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, Nvidia is on course to become the first company to surpass the $5 trillion market cap mark. The tech giant has evolved from a video game processor to an integral player in the artificial intelligence boom. We know all of that already. Nvidia is Nvidia. It's going to go higher.
Nvidia kind of surprised me here. I know it really caught a lot of momentum off of the chip stocks earlier this year, really being the leader in that space now. Looking like they're trying to be a leader in the AI space, so they almost get a double whammy to the upside.
Yeah, absolutely. Next, we're going to jump straight into Boeing. Boeing has all kinds of news breaking today. It's hard to even determine where to begin. So first and foremost, they had earnings this morning pre-market, which essentially caused no change in the stock. There was sort of a rip to the upside and then immediately back down to unchanged, headed into open. Boeing is on track for their highest year of airplane deliveries since 2018. I always joke with Boeing, but it's really funny because airplanes are such a big and expensive unit, how seemingly low Boeing's delivery numbers always are.
Right.
Like, it makes me laugh. Like, they'll be like, we set a record for airplanes delivered in a month. And you're like, okay, Boeing, how many airplanes did you deliver? And they're like, 40. And we're like, 40, yeah, good job, Boeing. Like, it's so funny that a multi, hundreds of billions of dollars company only has to deliver 40 units a month to have that valuation. I think it's something like 55 last month. But highest year for airplane delivery since 2018 for Boeing. Reported higher revenue than last year because production was constrained after the labor strike. I actually had totally forgotten about that Boeing labor strike, but that was a big theme for a long time last year, hanging over this stock. Kelly Ortberg, the new CEO who took over in August of 2024, he's really trying to turn the page on that bad little chapter Boeing had for a few years there, has been doing a good job. So we'll see what happens with Boeing. Also, they are looking to get regulatory approval for the 777X here pretty soon. That was something they first launched in, checking my notes, 2019. So they've been flying the 777X since 2019, but they are just now looking to get regulatory approval, and they believe deliveries for those should start in 2027, which has been a big dark cloud hanging over Boeing's head this entire time that they are now going to have removed.
I'm wondering how the other airlines are going to be affected by this. Maybe we get some sympathy plays from American Airlines, Delta, and those other airlines. We'll see. Boeing may be the leader for all those spaceships. Yeah,
it's true, and it'll be interesting to see how that all plays in, because Boeing, obviously not a commercial air travel company. They just provide the planes for said companies. I don't know how them maybe getting their production and delivery numbers up is going to tangibly affect other airline companies. So yeah, that will be an interesting trend to follow. Next, we're going to jump over and talk about CVS. CVS is having a very good morning. Big earnings beat on their third quarter report that came in, I don't know if it was yesterday pre-market or this morning, or yesterday post-market or this morning pre-market. Does it really matter? But big earnings beat. The results cap David Joyner's first full year as CEO of the company. CVS and Walgreens have both been in this interesting spot for a while where, like, I don't know, to me it always feels like the media is saying that they're just both going to die, and they can't both die. So I mean, if one of them is going to go, I think it would just be one of them. But CVS shares actually fell 3% after the earnings beat, but have quickly rallied back up to up 1.5% as we head into market open today. So very interesting price action going on there. In terms of the actual numbers, CVS had estimates of $1.36 per share in terms of EPS and $98.8 billion in terms of revenue. They came in way over those numbers, $1.60 per share EPS, $102.9 billion of revenue. Those reflect 17.2 and 4.1% beats, respectively, on those two metrics. So yeah, great start for CVS. Big rally in the pre-market here. We closed yesterday right around $82, opened at $83.53. So seems like the market is pleased with this action we got going on with CVS.
Yeah, even after earnings, it's looking like vol is staying resilient, because even after the IV crush that we've gotten, we're still trading at around a 31.5 IV range. So there's some opportunity there. I know even the other night with PayPal, we saw more inside moves on some of these earnings that we were looking at. So we got FOMC later today. Maybe we get a little bit more volatility, a little bit more uncertainty to wiggle our way through for the rest of the week. Anything else top of mind heading into the rest of the week for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got one more to cover here just because they had earnings this morning. This one, there's not as many external variables going on, but Caterpillar is the fourth one that I was going to talk about. Yeah, earnings went off this morning. They're up 4% headed into today's market action. Their expectations were $4.59 per share in terms of EPS and $16.7 billion of revenue. They came in actual $4.95 per share, 17.6. So that's, to be clear, 16.7 expected, 17.6 reported. Don't want to conflate those two things. They sound very similar. So big beats on both metrics there for Caterpillar. Caterpillar, sleeper giant, like $250 billion company. I don't think a lot of people realize how big this company is. I mean, obviously you know that they're a nationwide construction company and all this good stuff, but they are a giant company with the propensity to move other stocks in that industry. No,
most definitely. I mean, they're trading near its highs right now, heading into the holiday season. One ticker, lastly, before we leave, is Kava. I don't know if you've been paying attention to Kava. They've been absolutely slaughtered over like the last year, I would say. When I was down in Florida, it was one of the most poppin' spots. It was like everybody was getting tired of the Chipotles. So Kava is going to be another interesting one that we'll probably end up covering again later today. But just another side underlying to take a look at as we've been beaten down with some decent volatility.
For sure. I've never dove into the intricacies of Kava and what has caused this drawdown for them. My prediction would be that they expanded too fast, because this company, I agree, it was a very similar thing where it was like, it was trendy there, like big trendy. I mean, while I was in college for a second, everybody was going to Kava and it was this new exciting thing. But Kava, to me, at least my personal perception, it felt like there was none of them, and then suddenly a year later they were all over the place. Like there was, in my college town there was none, and then suddenly there's two. And I know that a lot of people have shared that same experience. Kava really aggressively expanded. And while that may have paid dividends for them in the long run, I can't help but wonder if that's part of the reason for their drawdown was just getting too big too fast.
Yeah, no, 100%. It'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. 60 IV rank, we'll see. $60 stock right now. Decent volatility. Anything else to add before we start to wrap for the day?
No, that's what I got.
Cool.
That's everything that we've got for today on today's tickers. If you'd like to check back in with Errol and I, we will be live on air 12 to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time today on the Tasty Live Network, where we are live all day, every day. Trade them small, trade them often, and we will see you guys soon.
Peace.